Jocelyn Briggs here with Boundless Pursuits Coaching and Training, and I'm in the kitchen where I don't belong. Oh my goodness. So I decided this month I was going to try something new. So the last couple months, or the last month, I tried this new thing and I went live on my Facebook page and on TikTok to work out in front of the whole world. Hey, Shaima. And woo, there goes one of my contraptions here. And I did that because, well, a couple reasons. First of all, it all started with a group, a Facebook group that I started where I was working out with a bunch of people, and it kept me accountable. I was not accountable. I was not doing my workouts. And so anyways, long story short, I decided this month I'm going to cook. I haven't cooked in years, you guys. I avoid cooking. My kids and I have this running joke in my family, and my husband works 7 days on, 7 days off. And we have this running joke that when Chris is working, like, we don't eat. Or we eat like noodles, or we eat the kids every night are like, what's for dinner? I'm like, I don't know, whatever's in the fridge. But here's the thing, like, my commitment to my health is gradually coming back. So it started with working out, and this month I'm actually kind of nervous right now because I am not scripted, I'm not planned, I'm not organized for this. So I'm just literally here chatting, and I'm going to show you what I'm making tonight. So I decided that I'm going to go live twice a week on my Facebook page, and I'm on TikTok as well, although I don't think anyone's with me on TikTok. But I'm gonna go live and share with you guys what I'm cooking to hopefully inspire you to eat a little bit healthier. And I'm gonna try to teach you a little bit about Mediterranean eating, because that's the commitment that I'm making in May to my own health, is to try to adopt more of the Mediterranean style of eating. But also to keep myself accountable, because if I have to, like, literally I would have bailed today because today's been a crazy day. I don't even know what is happening in the universe today, but I've been so busy that I would have had noodles for dinner tonight if I didn't have to go live today. But because I had to go live around 4, here I am. So say hi if you're joining me, and let me know what you're having for dinner. So I'm making something that I've never made before. Again, this is going to be like messy Jocelyn in the kitchen, just figuring this out as I go along. Guys, I know how to cook. It's not that I don't know how to cook. Somebody was making fun of me like, oh, this should be really good. And I'm like, I do know how to cook. I just choose not to, usually. I don't really have any interest in cooking. I kind of avoid cooking. So I'm already a bit kind of lost on this recipe, because it says to scoop out 1/3 of the flesh. So we're making stuffed eggplants. I'm actually gonna do 3 stuffed eggplants tonight. So part of the thing with Mediterranean cooking is it's largely plant-based, right? And that's how I tend to try to eat when I'm on top of things, when I'm doing well. I try to eat more or less like 50% of my diet I like to come from veggies. Alas, that has not been the case for the last little while. So, and it's not that I'm recommending plant-based and no meat. I'm more just saying that, like, I like to coach my clients, and I like myself to strive for mostly veggies in my diet, 50% veggies, and then, you know, maybe 25% protein, 25% carbohydrates. So that is one of the focuses of the Mediterranean style diet is we eat carbs, they eat carbs, and healthy grains. And so that's one of my goals this month, is to educate particularly women. So my goal is to work, hey Yvonne, I think Yvonne's joining me on TikTok here. My goal is to kind of debunk the bad rap that carbs have gotten over the last few years. Not all carbs are the same, and in fact, there is evidence and studies that show because estrogen is a carb-loving hormone, women typically actually do better with carbs. Typically, not always. I'm not saying, somebody's going to comment in the comments and say that they've lost 500 pounds on keto and they love it, and totally, like, at the end of the day, our diet is largely like, is largely, you know, a single, like an experiment of one, so to speak. And that's always going to be the case. But overall, generally speaking, estrogen thrives on carbohydrates, which explains why we have cravings at certain times of the month, right, you guys? Like cravings for carbs during certain times of months connects to the rise and fall of the estrogen in our body, right? When we are just about to get our, sorry for any men watching, I'm sure no men are watching me slice onions right now, but when we get our period, right before your period, your hormones, your estrogen actually drops and you become most hormonally like a man. So prior to that, you have high levels of estrogen, and that's why you crave chocolate or carbs, pizza, like you crave all the things. And it's your body actually, I'm not saying you should eat all the junk, but I'm saying your body actually knows what it's asking for. It's asking for carbohydrates. So the Mediterranean diet eats, but what I want to bring to people's attention, okay, I'm going to start crying because I'm cutting onions here, is the need for carbs and what are good carbs. Like when I talk to people, most people, when they tell me they don't eat carbs, they're talking about bread and pasta. When I'm talking about carbs, I'm talking about things like quinoa, right? Like quinoa is the focus of our week this week. So in my Pursuing Wellness group, we're doing a Mediterranean style diet focus. And each week we're going to focus on a different kind of component of the Mediterranean diet. So this week we're going to focus on grains. And my goal is to help educate you around good grains, right? So quinoa is what we're working with tonight. So I'm supposed to scoop these things out. I guess, I don't know. I honestly, you guys, I'm going to use a knife. I don't eat eggplant very often. So it says to scoop out a third. Oh, a third is not very much of the flesh. I'm totally doing this off the cuff, you guys. So just bear with me. So let me know in the comments you love to cook. I'm going to say that I cooked for years when I was raising my 4 kids. And one day my husband said to me that he doesn't mind cooking. And I don't think I've cooked since that day, because I was like, it's all you. It's all you. It is all you. And the funny thing is he always tells me, well, I'll cook, but you have to tell me what to cook. And I don't know, ladies, do you not find that is actually the hardest part, is figuring out like what, I shouldn't be throwing this out, what to cook? So let me know. You're having chicken, not sure with what. I'll cook. I'd rather not. Exactly. Just seeing. So in my Pursuing Wellness group this week, I posted, every week I post a meal plan, right? So this week's meal plan was stuffed eggplant. We have Mediterranean bowls, which is what I'm going to cook on Wednesday when I'm here on Wednesday. Mondays and Wednesdays around 4. I can't tell you I'll be right on time, because 4 o'clock, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but 4 o'clock is a hectic time of day in my house, in my world. So I'm just going to come hang out online while I cook and see who wants to join me and see who wants to be inspired. Like, do you guys have goals this month? Do you have a goal you're working on? One of the things that I encouraged in my Mediterranean event, that I'm going to call it my Mediterranean event that I'm doing, is don't try to change everything all at once. Like when you try to do too many changes all at once, you're not going to stick to them. They're not going to, and you're going to hate them. So I recommended in my group that they pick one thing to cut out. So pick one thing that you're doing right now that maybe you want to commit to taking out. Last month in April, I can't even believe I did this, you guys. I cut out wine for the whole month. The whole month. Okay, that's a big deal for me. Those of you who don't drink are probably like, big deal. I did not have wine for 30 days. And it started out really hard. So what's one thing that you could maybe cut out right now that, yeah, you're like, yeah, I don't really, that's going to be really hard for me. Maybe it's chocolate. Just do it for 30 days. Do something for 30 days. We can all do hard things. We can do something for 30 days. What do you want to commit to giving up for 30 days? Some of the ladies that I coach gave up scrolling on social media before bed. Like, that's a great one. Maybe you give up booze, beer, chocolate, chips. I gave up chips too. I'm making stuffed eggplants, Tammy. They're in my Pursuing Wellness group. They're in my meal plan. I'm not really sure. I've never actually cooked eggplants before like this, so I'm just kind of manhandling them right now. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Just so everybody knows, I do know how to cook. I just don't cook. Okay, are you in then, Steph? Are you giving up chocolate and sugar? That is a really hard one. I have a bunch of clients who are trying to give up chocolate and sugar. It's not easy. So I'm just pulling the middles out here. So so I said give up one thing, add one thing. So pick a habit that you want to commit to adding. So maybe it's more water. Maybe it's more movement. Maybe it's like, maybe you want to, I'm just grabbing stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Maybe you want to walk more. Maybe you want to, I always like to recommend a glass of lemon water first thing in the morning. Maybe you want to commit to a 10 minutes of walking every day. In my Get Strong community, we're doing 10 push-ups every day. So that's a great one. Okay, let me look here. So I did that. Okay, I put olive oil on my eggplants. So pick one thing and don't do everything all at once. So pick one thing that you want to give up, one thing that you want to add, and then one thing that you want to curb. So maybe if you're a wine drinker like I was, maybe you want to cut back. Maybe you want to cut back to wine like maybe only a couple times a week or something, right? Maybe Saturday. So I'm not doing no wine again this month. I'm like, no thank you. Rub the inside of each eggplant. So I'm putting olive oil on my eggplants right now. That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be stuffing these. Hey, Kelly. Oh yes, Shima's fasting. Oh my God, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you fast. I know, is it for religion, Shima? Is it something that you do for like religion or for like or is it, I know I used to have a client that used to do that for 30 days each year. How do you feel? Like, do you have to like not do too much productive? Are you still working out when you're fasting? Let me know what you guys are making for dinner. I'm showing you, I have all the recipes for what I make in my group. And so if you want, I should have put my link. I'll put my link to my group next time in the top. So super. So this is going to be vegetarian. There's no meat. You could add meat to it if you wanted. I have no idea if I'm putting the right amount. I'm just sort of doing this. Okay. Oil on my eggplant. Oh, I'm supposed to heat a skillet. Okay. So my kitchen's a mess too. That's the other reason why I didn't want to do this live, because normally I have to clean my kitchen before I come on live, but you can see I'm missing a cupboard door. So this is going to be messy and au naturel. That's how you get, that's, you know, I don't really do things any other way, to be honest. My workouts are very off the cuff too. Okay, so I've got my olive oil and I'm heating my onions. What are you guys cooking for dinner? Is anybody gonna make this? Not probably tonight. Salmon, where do you buy your salmon, Kelly? Thanks, Christine. Wow, Shima, I don't even know how you do it. I don't even think I could go like half a day without food. Where do you buy your salmon, Kelly? I was gonna try Costco. That's my next. So there is studies that show, I'm trying to remember, this is one of the things I was gonna share with you guys. Eating fish just twice a week helps, I'm probably mixing up. I'm pretty sure it was fish. Eating fish twice a week helps prevent the onset of dementia by like 70%. So I'm not a great big fish eater. Like, I'm not a huge fish lover. I don't dislike it. I just don't really care one way or another for fish. Do you guys are you guys fish eaters? But I think I can eat it twice a week to help my brain health, right? Like, I mean, there's a whole bunch of benefits to eating fish, but if you can eat fish just twice a week, 70% studies have shown, solid studies, she said, have shown. So that's huge, right? Okay, so I'm gonna put my onions and my garlic. Oh, and then I gotta slice up my mushrooms. I really should have prepped first. The thing is, you guys, I had a really busy day and I had planned on being a lot more organized. So I will probably be more organized in the future when I do these. But tonight I'm kind of winging it. So Mediterranean diet. So some other components. Here's the thing. Again, I teach or promote, even my kids, I try to get them to eat half veggies. So if you're gonna eat a granola bar, they have to have a veggie first. So the Mediterranean diet is at least like 50%, if not more, plant-based. So that's one of the reasons. It has grains, so that is another reason, but healthy grains. I got some cremini mushrooms here that I'm slicing up. Moderate wine, so I like that. I'm all into that. And it is going to be moderate. Honestly, my wine habit got out of control. And so last month I went without wine and that did the trick. So that's the thing. If you can pick a habit, this is what I learned. This was not expected. The first couple weeks were really hard. I mean, it was all I thought about. So if you're going to give up chocolate and candy, I think somebody said, chocolate and candy, I think, Steph, did you say? If you're gonna give up something, know that the first couple weeks are gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be a challenge. You're gonna think about it a lot. But know that 2 weeks is not very long. And I kept saying to myself, okay, it's 30 days. Like, I can get through 30 days. But what happened after 2 weeks was things got easier all of a sudden. I think partially because I was over halfway. So once you're over halfway, you kind of are like, okay, I'm on the home, like I'm headed on the way back. And then week 3, I honestly I kind of got over it. I kind of forgot about it. So can you imagine taking one of your really bad habits right now that you have, and we all have them, and we all know what they are. We all have those guilty habits that we know we need to work on, we know we need to curb, we know we need to change, we don't really want to. Can you imagine being free of them? Like, can you imagine that habit doesn't hold that vice over you anymore? Like, what would that look like for you? So if you can hang in there for 30 days, you know, you can go back to it if you really want to, but why not pick something this month? Like, join me in this, join me in doing something for yourself and pick something for 30 days and see what happens. But the transition at 2 weeks to, like, you know what? I actually feel fantastic. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And now 30 days later, I'm like, you know, I had wine the other night and I'm like, I'm good. I don't really need to have the wine anymore. So that's, to me, I feel like all it took was like, it essentially only took 14 days to be free of a habit that really kind of held a vice over me. So I'm adding garlic now. So I threw in red onions. I'm not very good at this cooking show thing. I threw in a diced red onion, and now I'm adding garlic. So red onions and garlic in here. And then I'm going to add the mushrooms. Cremini mushrooms that I just chopped up. And I'm going to add those. And then I'm going to chop up. So what I love about this recipe is vegetarian, but there's lots of vegetarian recipes that don't have very many vegetables in them. So this one does. So I'm going to throw in the mushrooms now and just let that cook up. You guys think I should have a show like Rachel Ray did? Okay, so then now, so So I'm doing kale, quinoa. I did have this in the fridge already, quinoa. Are you guys fans of quinoa or not really? I'm kind of like, it's okay, but I have 2 cups of torn kale, so I'm gonna dice. So I love kale. So kale, and then I have thyme. That's about 2 cups. I should be doubling this because I actually have double the number of eggplant. I'm totally not doubling it. I'll figure that out when I get there. Where did I put my knife? So what I wanted to encourage with this Mediterranean focus is I wanted to encourage women to value their health. See, sorry TikTok. I wanted to encourage women to value their health a little bit more, with less focus on weight loss. The thing with the Mediterranean diet, it is conducive to weight loss for sure, but it has so many additional benefits to it. So it's going to help you with your immune system. Like, I think that's probably something we should all be valuing right now. The fact is, I think it's 2/3 of women suffer from dementia, right? And dementia isn't something that currently they can turn back. So you can't, like, once the dementia process starts, my understanding is like you can't turn it back. Like you're stuck. You can slow it down maybe. I don't really cook with thyme very much. Am I supposed to take these off the thing or do I just dice them up? Anybody know? Better for gut health. Do you know what grain is my absolute favorite actually? Because couscous is pasta, I think, isn't it? Couscous isn't a grain. That's why it tastes so much better, because it's actually pasta. I love farro. I'm going to be using that at some point. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite. Okay, can I just like chop these up, or do I have to take them off the, oh, I knew you were going to say that. It's not easy to do. It's a lot easier just to dice them up with the stems. Okay, it's actually not that hard. Couscous. Couscous is probably one of, I'm going to be talking about the different grains and the different value, like what the different health components of the different grains are in the group. We're going to be talking about quinoa tomorrow, and then I'm going to talk about farro. And there's another one that I really like that I can never remember the name. Bulgur. Farro is really, yeah, I think it is. I think it's basically like a flour-based, like it's not a grain. That's why it tastes so good. Okay, well that's looking good. So next up, I've got 2 cups of, let me just see what I'm supposed to do with it. Oh, I'm supposed to add the kale. So I'm going to stir in the kale and the quinoa into my pot. So you guys can't see it, but I'm basically dumping all my kale in. And my quinoa is already cooked, so I'm going to dump that in and stir it in. So I got red onions, garlic, mushrooms, kale and quinoa. I could honestly just eat this stuff. I don't even need to put it in the eggplants. But do you see how easy this is? Like, this is actually super easy, fast. Like, so it's just like kale, red onions, mushrooms, garlic, and quinoa. I mean, that in and of itself is pretty good. So I threw that in, and then I'm supposed to put the thyme, the lemon juice, salt and pepper. How much lemon juice do I need? And then I'm putting yogurt in it. Juice of 1 lemon. Okay, I can do that. Can do that. So speaking of lemon, I want to give you guys a very good tip. especially, is there anybody watching that suffers from IBS or any kind of gut or what am I trying to say? Okay, I'm gonna put it out there. You don't have to say this in the comments, but I know, right? I wish you could smell it. It's actually not that fragrant right now, but if you have, so I have a number of clients who have IBS issues, and some of them have the nothing like talking about poop when I'm cooking. Some of them have the constipation side and some of them have the other. So for those of you who struggle with the constipation side, I'm going to give you a really good tip that it may or may not work, but there's no harm in trying it, is in the morning, you have a glass of warm lemon water. So lemon is, so they say that drinking warm water in the morning or drinking warm water in the morning wakes up your digestive system and wakes up your metabolism. And apparently that's just a really polite, pleasant way of saying that it cleans you out. So if you struggle with that, try drinking a glass of lemon water first thing in the morning, warm. So what the warmth does is it actually is a vasodilator, so it dilates your veins, vasodilator, opens up your veins, so it helps move along the hydration. And then the lemon has the electrolytes in it, right? So the lemon will help boost. There is benefits to adding lemon to your water. We don't just tell you that for no reason. Okay, so I'm going to add the thyme now. I'll be more organized next time. Oh, I was supposed to zest the lemon. Okay, there's not going to be any zest. There's no zesting in this. So if you guys make it, zest it. That's it. My filling's made. I guess I could zest. So, oh, it does smell pretty good actually. Sorry, you guys. So then I just spoon it in to my eggplant snatched. Wow, look at that. That was really fast. I guess I'm gonna roast them for 20 minutes. And then when you're done, you spoon parsley and yogurt on top. So I'm pretty much done, you guys. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to make this mixture fit into all my eggplants. Now, here's the funny part. I wonder who in my family is gonna eat these. They're all gonna be like, oh, mommy finally made dinner and it's gross. We want daddy back. Daddy makes better dinner. Sorry, you guys. I need another phone holder. I'm literally just using my son's phone. So my goal this month is to bring tons of value to my friends on social media. And this is how I'm doing it. I'm going to show you my cooking. Oh, I forgot the salt and pepper. Show you guys my cooking Mondays and Wednesdays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do live workouts. So if you, at 9:15 a.m., I do live workouts on my Facebook page and on TikTok, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. If you are on my Facebook, you can always do the replay, or I also post them to YouTube. So if you are on TikTok and you're wanting live workouts or a community to help you with your workouts, then just connect with me on Facebook. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go put this in the oven and I will post a picture of the finished product in the comments when it's done. It takes about 20 minutes, but how easy was that? Like, I'm just basically gonna stuff each of these with this, cook it for 20 minutes, and then top it with plain yogurt and parsley. So there we go. There's my very first cooking live. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you back here on Wednesday, some of you, and some of you I will see you tomorrow morning for our workout. Have an awesome night, you guys. Oh, hey.
Are you done?
Bye. Yeah. I just said bye to TikTok. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Yeah, super easy. I would highly recommend, if you want the recipe, just put recipe in the comments. If you're not in, most of you I think are in my group, my Pursuing Wellness group. So in my Pursuing Wellness Facebook group, if you need in, just write recipe and I'll add you. And this recipe plus the recipe I'm gonna make on Wednesday is in there, plus some other stuff. So, and every week for the month of May, I'll be on here suffering in the kitchen. See you guys later.